Guess who's unpacking their relationship to being excellent in a predominantly white environment where people resent you and don't know how to handle your emotions and your humanity and the fact that you could ever need anything other than to just be completely excellent and to make yourself scarce. All right, that was coming in hot. You know where you are. You're on Kira's channel. Of course, we're coming in hot. So, this, I kind of was talking about this with my therapist like last week. So I was talking to her about how I always, and obviously this is not to brag, but I always kind of had a knack for words and spelling. So I would, like, when other kids in kindergarten were coloring the S, Sammy the Snake, me and like 3 other kids would go to the special room and we would do like spelling tests and we would spell words like house. Nothing too crazy, but we weren't coloring, we were spelling. And so at a younger age, I was maybe a little bit more ahead in reading and writing and things like that. And I knew things like to say, Jenny and I, rather than me and Jenny. And I remember I said that one time, and this girl, Rachel, who I've talked about before, because she's the one that went around at recess and asked all the guys if they like straight or curly hair better and made sure to tell me that they all said straight. Little white girl. She said, "Oh, well, you just know everything, don't you?" When I think somebody must have said, "Oh, me and whatever." And maybe I said, "Oh, I don't remember correcting someone though. But I know that I would say things and she would make me feel like, okay, I shouldn't show that I know that. And so I began to sort of dull myself down and say me and Jenny because I didn't want to be ostracized when I'm already getting ostracized in other ways, right? And so you do these things to survive and you don't always know exactly what's going on, and then you grow up. And whether or not it's intentional, if you are in often like more white environments, I live in a city where it's diverse, but it's also expensive. So sometimes, depending on where you are, it's a pretty white environment so often. Or like it's peppered with black people, you know what I mean? Like it's not something where I feel like, oh yeah, this is my scene a lot of the time. And I think in the past year or so, I've realized how little space there is made for me, my emotions, me to be a human being and not just, this excellent machine who never has any issues. Every time I've had an emotion in public over the past year, I have felt judged and ostracized. Let me not say every time, but a lot of times. And it started to make me think because, at first you internalize it and go, okay, is this my fault? What have I done? What have I done wrong? But then, especially when I realized there's also like, I've seen so many different patterns, specifically since I moved away from LA to Canada, of like a lack of ability to bring something up quickly. Like when I was in LA, there was girls that I went to school with that I had a lot of beef with, but I also, when we would have a problem, there was one girl, she texted me immediately and I was like, honestly, respect. Like, this is so fucking dramatic and I hate this situation that I have to like respond to this, but I really respect that she just said, she was like, so-and-so said this, what the fuck? And so to some extent, I was, my coming of age years, college, were spent in that environment of people who are direct and will confront and will not sit on things for weeks, months, however long, so that you, without giving you the chance to explain yourself. And it's like, I'm noticing that I'm held to a higher standard. And that's something that is really, really, really just start to sunk in a way where I'm like, you know what? Actually, fuck this. No. This simply cannot be my burden. to be the dancing monkey in all situations that never has feelings, and because nobody else is paying attention to what I'm going through, ever. But I'm also not the one to impose. And because I don't impose and make a big deal about what I'm going through, you just assume it's nothing. Even though strangers will come up to me and tell me things about me that you don't know because you're not paying attention, but I don't expect you to. But then why do I never get any grace ever in any of those reverse situations? Ever. Ever. And I also am never, will no one dare to face me? Does no one have the courage? Is the Cersei line that I always come back to. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I would be so appreciative to just be asked. And it's like, then I remember back to LA, like, oh my God, even when, not all the time, but I just like really appreciate someone who's like, you know what? I heard this. Explain yourself. What's your side of the story? Tell me. Do you know what I mean? And this one wasn't like a situation like hearsay like that. And a lot of like my situations over the last year aren't like that. It's more like I noticed there's a lack of space for Kira to have feelings that aren't happy, smile, boom, boom, shika, wow. But you know who gets to feel that way? You know who gets to be rude and have issues and be moody and have bad days? Often everybody else, but particularly the white men. That everyone understands, oh, they're just like that. And then these people they make excuses for the men in their life who have emotions. Or just other people, but not me. And I got to a point in the past little bit where I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is about me. And it's like when people are like, oh, nothing, it can't all be about race. When you see a pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 5, okay, I would say maybe 3 times happen of like there's a certain intolerance for the only Black girl's emotions, what am I supposed to think? And I shouldn't have to work so hard to not think that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to realize there's certain things I shouldn't have to work so hard to not do. And I shouldn't have to work so hard to get compassion from you before I get judgment. Why does that feel so true lately? I shouldn't have to work so hard to be able to be myself and to be going through a lot and to be overwhelmed and to only have a certain amount of capacity for a certain amount of things in a certain period of time. And I don't expect people to keep up with all that I'm doing, but I am doing a lot. And it's like, I don't burden these people with the pressure of that, but then just so much is expected from me and to perform in a certain way that is not authentic to me sometimes. And like when other people in the environment or in the situation may have like somehow affected my feelings, I feel like that is not always as valued as I would think or as I would do for someone else, you know what I mean? And so I'm just starting to look at these patterns like, okay, well, I don't know how to be anybody other than myself. I don't know how to be inauthentic to me. I don't know how to put on a fake smile or a fake face. I don't know how to pretend like I'm not feeling the way I'm feeling. And if that's required of me, then how can I breathe here? And do you really want me to? What are the rules of this space? Are the values, you know? And it's I'm really, really, really starting to value myself as a woman of color in a predominantly white environment. And when that becomes unsafe, and when the people who are supposed to be advocates for me are a little bit too oblivious and want to judge first, ask later, and protect last. I don't know. Or I'm crazy. Am I crazy? Can you answer, please? Please tell me. Please tell me. Please tell me if you relate to this or I'm making this up, because I don't know. I've just been processing, and my last session with my therapist brought this kind of stuff up. So let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Time to go. Time to go. Okay, bye.